Welcome everybody to another episode of Reincarnated as Podcaster. We are your hosts, the Forrest, the Bob, the Ed Boy. Here today, we're to discuss a film, a movie, an animated film based on a beloved property.
Harry Potter?
Star Wars.
Batman.
James Bond.
There you go.
Oh, dude, the last James Bond was pretty good. I like that one part where he bonded all over the place.
Yes. So we're going to talk about the animated Lord of the Rings movie.
Wait, is this from a book? Is this original? Is this from an appendix of a book?
Did you answer the question?
Here's the thing, right? So I am assuming that the events that are portrayed in this book are a footnote in some appendix.
It
Like
No. They looked at a family tree and was like, dog, we're gonna take this one right here. We're gonna make a story.
So I'm pretty sure, like, if you were to look at, because there's timelines, right? There's timelines in the different history books that J.R.R. Tolkien wrote,
right?
And I'm sure there's probably a footnote on here under the history of Rohan that talks about this particular skirmish.
I don't know if I believe it's true because it's on that Google AI garbage.
Oh, okay.
But it says it's from the Return of the King appendices of it.
It's the timeline. It is the fucking timeline of the appendices.
But it also says this took place 200 years before the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yes, no, and that's fine. And they mentioned that in the.
Well, they said 300. I'm pretty sure.
No,
In Spanish.
Was it 2? I thought it was 3.
200 years before Bilbo got the ring.
Okay.
Is how the beginning of that movie goes. But yeah, like the thought is just because I know in the Return of the King in the appendice, in one of them, there's a timeline, and it actually kind of tells you what happens to everybody after Lord of the Rings ends too, like in order. You get to find out how many fucking kids Sam and Merry and Pippin have, which is a lot.
Yeah, they breed with each other a lot.
They end up having a lot of kids.
I mean, they do live forever, basically. So
The Hobbits?
yeah.
No, they live like a normal life.
Yeah, they live a normal life.
Do they?
Yeah.
Fucking Bilbo. How old was Bilbo when he died?
Yeah, because he had the ring.
Yeah, the ring elongated his life.
Oh,
That's why
okay,
Gollum
okay.
was like 600 years old or however the fuck old he is.
Because he was also a hobbit.
Yeah.
Was.
Yes.
Is now still. That's what happens when you evolve.
He's one with the lava.
Yes, one with the lava.
He's one with the ring now.
Yes.
Always be together.
Yeah, but that appendix does have that. So I'm like I said, it's probably just like a note that's on there. King Helm dies here, and that's why you call it like Helm's Deep or whatever. But
No, he said it.
Spoilers. He just spoiled all of Return of the King. If you haven't seen Lord of the Rings,
you're not watching this movie.
I'd argue you start with this movie.
And then you watch The Hobbit.
Then yep.
And then
Easily, I agree with this.
I mean, if you were gonna go that far, right? If you were gonna go that far, you would say you would start with Rings of Power.
Well, to be fair, if I go even farther back, we start with Star Wars because it's before
Long time
everything
ago,
else.
galaxy far away.
Shit. Yeah, so you watch Rings of Power, and then you watch this,
and then you watch
The Hobbit.
It's almost like they get progressively better the further along you go chronologically.
Well, I'd say The Hobbit, third book movie, best of them all, easily by far. Up here.
Why you like this?
What?
Who hurt you?
I love Lord of the Rings.
You don't like? Did
You don't like
the Desolation of
Smaug?
Smaug, the book?
You don't like Cucumber, whatever his name is, David Cucumber.
Oh, Cumberbatch.
Cucumber.
That's also the second movie for the most part.
David?
It's David,
Benedict.
right? Oh, Benedict.
Benedict. But this
I
film,
like Eggs Benedict
Anyway,
too.
who animated this film?
I have no idea.
I think it's under Warner
Information there, 'cause I don't know.
Brothers.
Well, yes, because Warner Brothers has the
I
license
know.
to it.
Give me a
right?
minute. I got to type in the whole
Aniplex.
stupid name of the movie.
Because I didn't see no studio.
I didn't see no studio shit at the
at the
beginning.
beginning.
Yeah,
Maybe it's in the
yeah,
credits,
it's
but
like,
Wow. Maybe it's his own studio.
Because it was a Japanese studio, right?
Yes. I know. I used to see it all the time at cons and stuff. There'd always be like advertisements.
I said it would be God tier. I think this art style is perfect for
Lord of the Rings.
No, Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem.
Oh, it is.
I think this would be a perfect.
Because this
Fire
is like
Emblem.
the art style of Fire Emblem, like the animatics from like the newer games.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like.
They should make a Fire Emblem movie.
Sorry, give me a second. There's a lot of information.
I'm sure there is.
It's a fake studio.
My studio, not real.
Anyway, this came out last year, basically.
End of last year. Right? End of last year is when it released in theaters.
2024.
Yep.
And it cost. I got all the other useless information.
How much did it cost?
The box office was 20 million.
Oh.
And it cost to make?
I have to get. Sorry, I had the box office.
80 million.
Probably. Give me a second. Let me look up the. God.
It costs less than Arcane.
Well, yeah.
It definitely costs less than Arcane.
I would make the argument that most animated features cost less than Arcane did.
30 million was the budget.
Oof. Oof, indeed.
But it's probably more of a streaming thing. Anyway, sorry. Give me 20 hours. I'm trying to find the other goddamn information.
I mean, that's always the argument that has to be with any film, right? That isn't like some big tent pole blockbuster where someone would actually want to go see it in a movie theater.
I feel like it was advertised a lot.
I don't think that's really the
I
issue.
don't think it was advertised a lot.
Really?
I didn't see like anything.
Well, the thing is, like, where do you see this at, right? Because I remember I used to see things in like YouTube, YouTube ads, right?
YouTube ads.
Well, that's all I really watch other than right?
Yeah.
But and so I don't know if this was advertised like general television. I don't know if it's advertised in other things. But even then, a lot of ads on YouTube are tailored, right? They're kind of tailored to your algorithm to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Maybe not fully. Some of them might slip through, but most of them are. So if you're into that sort of thing, and that's the sort of thing you have on your feed, you're more likely to get it, right?
Right.
And so those people that are more likely to go obviously didn't go. So
I got the answers for you for the animation. It's Warner Brothers Animation and Sola Entertainment.
interesting.
In association with Wingnut Films and Domain Entertainment.
I think Wingnut is the Peter Jackson's stuff, isn't it?
Give me a second.
I think I've heard the name before, so I was wondering.
Fact check.
Because it does say Peter Jackson Presents, right?
So he did
Zealand.
design it?
No.
Well,
It's a founder by Peter Jackson. It's a New Zealand animation company.
Called it.
Let me look up who made New Zealand. Give me a second.
I called it. Because I know I've heard it before, but
No, I've never heard of it.
yeah. I can't remember when. This is just this is just one of the things filed away in the file cabinet in my brain.
It looked pretty good.
It looked good. I thought the movie was animated fine. There's some scenes I had issues with. The first scene where there's the bigger guy. I don't remember his name.
Oh,
That dead guy.
Yeah, the one punch. Yeah, Freka. The guy got one punched.
yes.
When he was like talking in certain scenes, there's like
It
the
felt a
mouth
little weird,
movements
yeah.
felt wrong, and there's some lag to it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was the TV because I had the same issue watching it before. So I think the animation just didn't put 5 frames, no one will notice.
Nah, that's fine.
He has 2 lines. Fuck it.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's gonna die like right now anyway.
Then he died.
We need
did
the
die.
budget in the later areas.
It was so funny. Just punched him in the face, and then he's dead.
Dude, he's fucking. You see that man? You see that king? He's one punching
He's
everybody.
a mountain, dude. He is the
Hammer
mountain.
hand. Yeah, basically.
But animation-wise, brilliant film.
Yeah, I thought it looked really good.
It's animated very well. I feel like the art style lends itself to this world and this genre very well.
I think it hits that mix between anime and cartoon really perfectly. Because it's like the same thing for Castlevania. It has like that similar style. It could have used some more Castlevania touch up, with blood and this is PG-13, so
Yeah.
More fight scene.
more fight scenes would have been cool.
Yeah.
More orcs.
More orcs.
There's enough orcs. 7 out of 10.
Not enough orcs.
3. Well, 2.
And I feel like that art style is kind of like the middle ground now. It's the Western idea of like we can have this without fully dipping our toes in that.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's my favorite type at the moment because you still
like it
get
a
like
lot.
the colorfulness that anime has, and sometimes the eyes, but then you still have like the dark gritty look of it. Looks easier probably.
Yeah. The backgrounds were really pretty.
Yeah, the backgrounds are really well done.
Dude,
Whoever made those?
when they did the one shot of the night, and it was the not the town hall, but the the long haul, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And it was just like shot that way. I'm like, wow, that looks like real. Like they just like filmed something for real, and they're like, yeah, just put it in.
Yeah.
They took old clips from Lord of the Rings, and they're like, "This is our reference, guys."
Put a filter on it.
Yep, this is our reference.
They're like, we're just gonna steal stuff from Vikings and then just use it from the film and call it good.
I'm just like, dude, Rohan looked fucking the same for 300 years. No innovation.
Well, I mean, if it makes
Same
you feel,
hill was there from the beginning to the end.
if it makes you feel any better, I mean, the world of Lord of the Rings has like, what is it, cultural and technological stagnation for upwards of almost like 10,000 years. So.
Motherfucker didn't plan shit.
Well, what happened was Sauron put tariffs on the rest of the world, so it pushed everything back.
Yeah. Damn. Isengard took all the jobs from Rohan.
GG.
They had all the good horses.
Yeah.
But that's always been I guess one of the bigger critiques of the Lord of the Rings world in general and the high fantasy, right? The idea of like all this time passes, but everything is just always the same.
Yep.
Like no one ever
different.
no one ever thinks of innovation in any way, shape, or form. If anything, it's like a degradation. Because you think about the first age and the second age where you have all this fucking super fancy magic and
no one builds shit.
And all this crazy shit. And then it just, me.
We're just going to make it normal. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's going to normalize. But yeah, I mean, it's fun to see the locations as they were in the film, right? Obviously, the use of music as well. I mean, they really are banking on that idea of like, oh, you love these movies, you love this location.
Yeah, banking on nostalgia.
Yeah.
And it worked in certain spots.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
Because it's not like, you're coming into this in animation wise. You can take the property in different ways, right?
Yeah.
Especially because animation gives you so much freedom to embrace the fantasy. You could have changed the way that Edoras looked, right? You could have changed all these other things, but it almost speaks to how iconic those films are that they're like, we're just going to use the same location as it was in that film.
Yeah. Why would you change it? Yeah. What's the point? The thing that's like interesting to me is I don't understand why Rohan is in the middle of the plains. I understand the horsing community, like all that stuff, and that's where they battle. But man, every time something happens, let's all move to Helm's Deep.
Go march for 3 days.
Yeah, why don't we just stay in Helm's Deep?
I don't know. There's no grass for the horses.
They're close enough. You don't need to be 3 miles all the way down the road and have all the humans live over there.
I don't know. I mean, it has its like plus and minuses, right? Obviously, cultural designs. You have a weird mixture of both Viking culture and your like steeps culture, your Huns, stuff like that, horse-based cultures, right? And like it's supposed to strike that kind of happy middle. Because obviously all the steep cultures used to have yurts and stuff and would be nomadic. They would move.
Right.
But that doesn't work when you want a standing kingdom in one location. And so the idea of adding and mixing Viking iconography and looks and stuff to be like, oh, instead of boats, they got horses, right? And obviously a society like that wants as much open room around their area as physically possible for combat. Horses eat a lot.
They do. They do eat a lot.
Horses eat a lot. So
where are they planting all their food? Who knows? Or they're just letting them graze.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why you're on a giant plain with a bunch of natural grasses, right? Where free horses can roam. Which I still don't know if a plain like that can support the amount of horses that Rohan has.
like we said earlier while we were watching the movie, like I don't know how long this took to build, but where are the fucking trees at?
Fanghorn by the Misty Mountains.
No, like he said before, they were there. And then they trapped them all down, so there's no more.
And then obviously you build it on high ground because that gives you an advantage of seeing
you can
further.
See
okay. Advantage, it gets destroyed every fucking time.
Well, I said it's a horrible city. Build out of stone at this point. If you're gonna be there forever, who needs Helm's Deep? If you're gonna stay there, it's like, oh, someone's coming. We can see him over there. It's not even like they can see that far. They didn't see the freaking coming. The horde of people with elephants.
Oh, that's right.
Until the day of. If they could see for there's like 10 miles down the road. I can see they'll be here in they'll be here in like 3 days. Sure, that's useful, but now they're like, there's someone over there. They'll be here in 10 minutes.
Well, I think even at a higher advantage, I mean, it doesn't really give you much more than a day's worth of seeing somebody.
Yeah.
Just because of the the curvature of the planet. But
well, it's flat. Come on.
fuck up.
It's a hill, so it is curved. Yes.
Flat as they're fucking where they live.
Even then, it's like, yeah, you got a whole day. They don't use half that time anyway. By the time it's the whole day, it's like they're 5 minutes from their door.
They evacuated almost everybody in that time.
Yeah, bullshit. Movie magic.
They made it pretty far somehow. Women and child keep walking. Where? I don't know.
towards the
Helm's
rock.
Deep, obviously. Towards the mountain.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'll find the fortress that's there.
You keep walking. When you see a castle, you go in it.
Yep.
And so it also made it seem like they have that old lady, the witch lady that I consider.
That's just chilling at the castle.
The castle keeper.
Yeah, does she deal with all the things? Does she have nobody help her?
There's probably other people. Well, it depends.
I'm like,
right?
is there no fucking orcs or goblins that are like, open castle, just go in there? It's like, it's my house now.
Well, I thought like for a good chunk of time after the War of the Ring, there wasn't a lot of orcs and goblins in general, right? The goblins were like hidden away within the Misty Mountains, and orcs were just hiding out either in Mordor.
They were breeding.
Yeah,
That's what they were doing.
or in other forests and stuff.
Yeah.
Or to the north, I guess. But
still, no, not even like a pillager or something. It's like,
imagine you're the fucking guy from Rohan. You have to bring fucking supplies to Helm's Deep for these fucking people once a week or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, it's fucking this trip every fucking week.
you know what it reminds me of almost? It's
What?
like, you know when you go to the top of like Fushimi Inari?
Yeah.
And there's vending machines up there?
Yeah.
And you know there's the poor sorry soul that's taking stuff up to those vending machines every day. It's similar. It's not quite the same because this is miles in comparison to a bunch of steps.
Old dude too. He's been doing it for 20 years.
Gets to the top of the mountain, puts the last can in. The next day starts, so he just goes down the mountain, putting them back in.
But similar, right? It is interesting, like how they've built. Yeah, I don't know.
Because they have food there.
Yeah.
They have water. So, I mean, someone has to supply all that. And then they're like, we need extra there. Just store it for just in case he's.
The logistics of the Lord of the Rings world.
They even like mine a freaking hole to get out the backside of the mountain. That's what I'd be doing.
Well, it's almost like I mean, obviously the films you would never do this, but even like looking at the books in themselves, right? You think about the logistics of what does it mean to maintain a city like Gondor or Minas Tirith, right?
Yeah.
Right, where you have this giant stone. Like, where's that food being grown? Right.
On the stone. They eat mushrooms and that's it.
Like where are you getting the food? Is there livestock? I mean, you never really see it, right? Maybe there is. And I mean, as Gilead is like a stone's throw away. So maybe all that land was supposed to be farmland. But it just looks like open plains to me.
You can farm on plains.
I was like, you would think all the poor people and farmers would live outside the gates.
That's normally what
traditional
it is.
how medieval cities were designed.
No.
But no, they all fucking live in the...
Well, rock. They live in rock.
It looked fucking cool, though.
Yo, it looks dope as shit, right?
Imagine living at the bottom. Like, I gotta go see the king. 3,000 stairs
I
later.
bet they were all yoked, though. They're like, my legs are the size of mountains.
I feel like a city like that, right? Because this is probably true of a lot of medieval cities. There's not a lot of like mobility. It's like your life is very concentrated to a very confined space.
You're too poor to eat, so you just pass on what you need to pass on to the next person that's slightly higher than you.
You're like like your calorie expenditure is not gonna make it to the next
tier. Yeah.
You
like,
send some kid that has like all the energy, like you bring it up to that guy over there, and then they give him.
And maybe there's the whole reason why Edoras is so small, right? Just because you can't upkeep that type of population for a major kingdom.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, like all the different clans, they have their own mini, I don't know, camps or capitals or wherever the fuck they chill at, right?
Yeah.
Like Dunhollow that we saw there, which was a fun little nod, but yeah, I don't know.
What'd you think of the movie? We talked 20 minutes about not the movie, so let's talk about the movie.
It's a basis around the movie.
No, I know. We gotta talk about the movie.
itself.
The king was pretty badass.
He was dope.
He's my favorite
character. He was
character.
One Punch Man, basically.
And I liked the loot guy that got looted through the throat with a knife.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The brothers were cool. I mean, I like the main character a lot.
Oh, yeah. She was fine.
She's
a strong, independent woman.
Obviously,
I like the Shield Maiden.
there's obvious parallels to Eowyn.
Yeah.
Which is obviously what they're going for.
Yeah.
What?
What?
I'm trying to think where I'd even put this film. Because this film didn't get good praise at all.
No.
It didn't get good until, like, probably the last third.
Well, yeah, but that's like the normal fighting.
I think it suffers from not. It's just not particularly interesting.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of everything.
Because I think the main villain.
The movie was so.
Yeah, I think it was just boring. It's just all revenge. There's no
You killed my dad.
Yeah.
And you don't want to marry him. Marry me. Fuck.
There's no real like
dude.
build up to who he is.
No, you just kind of.
You don't really understand why he would go so far.
I feel like if you know how like halfway through the movie they're like, oh, they were childhood friends or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you fucking put this shit in the beginning? Build it up, and then have that. What happened?
Well, I'm fine with the flashbacks, but it doesn't
But
make
it
sense.
was so short.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. It doesn't make sense for the character. It doesn't explain why he has this like anger issue. Basically,
Yeah.
It's just like,
Because
we
his
were
dad
friends.
was an asshole.
Yeah, probably.
He's like, I was alone. Dude, you had a dad.
Well, no, he was talking about being alone after not having a dad.
After he was
After he got
exiled, I
one
guess.
punched.
Right.
Yeah, and then exiled.
But even then, it's kind of hard to like even care about the villain.
Yeah.
Especially in something like Lord of the Rings, right? Where your stakes are normally so much higher, where your villains are normally so much more potent.
Yeah.
And it's fine to have something smaller, right? The world will always have smaller skirmishes and problems and battles, right? Yeah. But it's just in a film like this where the story is so important, because that's what it is. It's not just a footnote in like a historical text. You actually have to make it palatable for an audience and entertaining. It's not that. It's just not very interesting at all. Like even like the war, what it's being fought over, the stakes, how people react, how long it takes them to react, all of it is very bland and kind of like by the books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Because it's like, to me, it's like I liked it enough where it's like, oh, this is fun. It's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So it automatically gets like a bump because,
yes.
you know.
It's committing the cardinal sin.
Of being what?
Of being mid.
Yeah.
Hey, I think it was just hoping to ride on like, oh, I Lord of the Rings property.
Yeah.
Watch it. Let's play the music.
But I think if you took out all the like, if you just said this isn't Lord of the Rings,
Yes.
and you gave me this,
it's still
boring.
It's still mid as fuck.
like, at least if the story was good and then you slapped Lord of the Rings on it, obviously it helps. But it's just like a boring story about a boring bad guy. Because that's to me what the story was about.
Yes.
Like, I understand the girl's the main character.
Yes.
But it felt like,
They're focusing more on the bag.
yeah, but not enough even.
Yeah.
It felt like they split the time.
Yeah.
Not in the right way.
I just feel like there's not enough to understand the conflict between the two main characters, right? Because I always feel like the conflict between the villain and the king is a footstool. It's not the primary conflict, right?
Yeah.
It's just he did this to my dad. This is my excuse to do this thing.
Yeah.
Right. After he just got rejected. But that is the primary conflict, right? Sorry. It's his relationship with her and whatever insecurities he has, whatever however he feels about himself in what's it called? lost my train of thought completely in relation to like her.
Yeah.
Right. And they just don't show enough of it other than, oh, look at brooding guy that used to be the childhood friend, because everybody now loves the dark brooding guy as an opposite foil, right?
Yeah.
So here's this dark brooding guy. They were childhood friends. You know, there's the tension, the tension between the two at the beginning, and then it all just kind of blows up, and it doesn't set up anything else, and it makes the rest of the conflict very just meh.
Yeah. Because also it's like, you know, he wants to become king, blah, 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 because he just wants to kill the king. And basically, his story in my mind was, I want to kill king, become king, because king was dick. And that's, to me, what the story was.
It was a shitty revenge story.
Yeah. But there's parts where it's like, I think the other issue for me is like he won instantly. Like, he killed the brother.
Brothers.
And then he killed the first brother. He had the second brother. Yeah. He won. Yeah. That was it. Yeah. He would have got the crown. He could have banished the other guy.
Because I don't think that was ever his end goal. That was, like I said, that's not the point of
his end goal is to burn everything.
Yeah, well,
that's what it was.
Well, yeah, there's that, but it's not even like, so everything, even at the beginning, right, where the lady says, oh, they have had a long time to think about what they don't have, right? Yeah. So obviously there's influence by the father figure, right? Who the father figure almost definitely wanted either himself or his progeny to be on the throne.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Well,
yes.
The issue is if you're going off of that, he won it.
No, I know exactly, right? But that's not to say that is his goal,
well,
right?
Yeah.
That was his father's goal, and he was probably raised by his dad, so there's a little bit of that background. But for him, all he cares about is being with the main character.
I don't even think that was it. I think he just wanted to burn everything.
No, because I think that was the original impetus, and then the moment he gets to this point where he has this opportunity that's given to him to be with her and to like seal this like whatever crush he had since he was a little kid, and that gets thrown away, then you have like
he threw it away.
Yes,
he did.
That's what I said.
Just crashed out.
He crashed out. He crashed out hardcore.
He's just like,
and now he wants everything to burn, right? Like if I can't have this thing, no one can have this thing, and that's what it is. It's a very like lowbrow. It's a very like it's your general insecure man who wants to burn everything down because his feelings were hurt.
Yeah.
And he's using the excuse that his dad conveniently gave him to do that, which is to burn the kingdom down and become king or whatever. It's because somehow he feels like if he's in that position of power, he can force her to do whatever he wants.
I don't know. As I said, he won the issue, like what you're saying.
Yes.
He won that 3 times.
He did.
He stole her, got her. Let's not deal with it. And then she gets away.
Yeah.
Kill the brother, steal the other brother. King will give up himself, and then he'll have that power. Gave it away.
Well,
he took the castle.
He already had Rohan.
Yes, exactly.
And he's like, you know what? I want more.
No, he just wanted to burn things at that point. I think his whole thing after he killed the brother was just to burn everything. He didn't want the girl anymore, obviously, in the third fight scene. Yeah. Where he's just like, fuck it, I'll kill everything.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's the idea of like, I can't have this, no one can, right? So after being rejected, now at that point, so many times, he's just like, everybody dies. Everybody dies.
But it was only
he was
rejected, I'd argue, once.
One, yeah.
Well, primarily, yes, once.
Well, if you want to go
technically,
twice.
it's like 2 or, well, by the last one, it's technically really a third time. But yeah, like twice.
But yeah, because I said it was, because he was guaranteed to have her when she was with him. Stuck in the castle before they raided.
In Isengard.
Yes. And then the second time was when she had the brother. She would have gave up herself. And he killed the brother.
He killed him anyway.
Yeah. And that was his fault on that one.
That part.
And then the third one,
that part I agree.
It was just a fight.
Like I said, it spirals, right? It spirals. But I feel like the original intent or his like original purpose was that at the beginning. And then it's just a negative spiral downwards as he crashes out. And this happens with a lot of people like that, right? There's a self-serving cycle of delusion and all this stuff where the thing you want is not there and you can't have it. And so you will create scenarios in your head of how somehow everything will work out, and it doesn't. It just keeps going downhill, and he burns everything because that's what a person like this normally does.
No, so I agree with you 100%. The issue is he could have it at any point.
Well, and I know.
Any point from middle onwards.
But that's always the tragedy of that type of character, right? Because it's the problem with that type of character is the delusions they build around themselves. Even if they're presented the opportunity or the helping hand, they don't want it because they felt like they didn't get it themselves.
I guess.
Shitty character.
Yeah. Well, and he's modeled after shitty people, right? It's not like these people don't exist.
No,
right?
I know.
This type of person is very common.
Yeah.
And it just happens what happens when you give a person like this drive and power, and in this case, his delusions of vengeance, right?
Shitty character. Not even a good good bad guy for the movie.
Yeah.
He's just kind of there.
Yeah.
And he had the poor fucking general.
Yeah.
Such a good general, wasted.
Because I think the problem he has as a character too is you have a villain, right? And a villain to consolidate power needs a couple things, right? You either need physical strength, right? Because you beat everybody into submission, or you need charisma. Or you need to have something that they want, right? He has none of these things, which makes it so it makes you wonder why do the hill tribes follow him, right? Maybe at the beginning it's money and revenge on Rohan and whatever's, right? Yeah. But then when things start going south, what keeps them there?
Because you could see that the last scene just before they raided, basically. Where it's like, where's the money?
Already lost all the support.
Well, yeah. He's like, where's all the money? He's like, I got this, like his last sack of money, basically. He's like, there's tons of it in there. And I'm like, that makes sense. They're all motivated because they thought there was gold.
Yeah, there was gold and stuff. It's just interesting to see a villain like this that doesn't like.
That was his charismatic moment for that part. I don't know if that was on screen. Charismatic.
In quotation.
I'm sure people saw it,
Yeah. It's just, he feels it. I mean, he's a weak man and he feels like a weak villain. Yeah. And it's just rough to watch.
And then he lost like the sword fight, then he lost the sword fight, and then he lost the sword fight.
He's just
he's not even a good fighter.
Well, I guess the main thing was that he was a dishonorable man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Didn't keep his word.
But there could be dishonorable bad guys that are good, good at what they do.
I mean,
he did none of
like
that.
Even if you were to take like let's take a classic example, right? You take Macbeth, right? Macbeth does horrible things over the course of the play. By the end of it, he kills a royal fuck ton of people in his path to consolidate power. But he's an interesting man to follow.
Yeah.
Right. Where this, it's not. He's well. You know what he reminded me of?
Who?
Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Except he doesn't have the badassery that Kylo Ren had at the beginning of what Kylo Ren
was. Laser, that's so fucking cool. So man, oh my god,
he doesn't have the introduction that Kylo Ren does.
Well, Kylo Ren is powerful, but this guy wasn't powerful at all.
He had nothing.
Nothing. He was a weak bitch.
He's just a weak bitch.
God.
If he came out and stopped an arrow with his hand, it just floated there.
Or do like that brother when he just deflected the arrow. That was badass.
Yeah.
And maybe to this type of story, he is the perfect villain for what they're trying to tell. Like if you think about what this story is, right, and the message it's trying to convey, he kind of is the perfect villain.
I think they just needed more.
Yeah,
or make him stronger.
Yes. Well,
they needed to do something for him.
I think it just would have been served more by like strengthening what we know of that relationship beforehand.
Yeah.
Show me more of them.
It's weird. It's like, as I said, it felt like it was a 50-50 split in time. Yeah. But it felt like it needed more of him or more understanding or more of her. Because she was fine.
Yes.
But it also just, her character didn't feel anything crazy either.
Yeah.
It felt like a very basic like heroine where she was just like.
I don't think her character progressed either.
She didn't, because for her, in my mind, she was already strong.
Yeah, she was already
smart. She understood what needed to be done. She was a good leader.
Yes.
It's like
and then she got into power, and then it finally, like, things started to fall into place.
Yes.
But it didn't change her character at all.
It's like how they're trying to do the whole Eowyn, like, arc, right? But in a movie. But they call it the whole, like, beginning part, and then you're just like...
It's just Eowyn at the end.
Yeah.
But even Eowyn at the end, there's like a... I think one of the reasons why Eowyn's such a strong female character, at least movie Eowyn, right? Book Eowyn is almost non-existent. But but movie Eowyn,
she was there. I saw at least one phrase.
But movie Eowyn, I think there's like she has this like kind of silent power to her, and it's shown in her kindness, right? And even though she is gutsy and all this stuff, like you want to follow her because of how such a good person she is. Yep. She's just not like, oh, I'm strong, independent woman. It's like, I am strong and therefore I help people.
Yeah.
And it makes you love that type of character, right? And I think that's the thing when you have time with these characters and you get to see that. And I'm sure Hera is similar. I mean, the people loved her. They have to love her for a reason, right? Yeah. And I'm sure if that's what they wanted to do, and if that's the character they're trying to emulate, then she probably has a lot of those qualities, but you just don't see it. You're just banking on the fact like, oh, here's an Eowyn clone. So the shorthand is she has all the qualities that Eowyn had, except we're just going to show you the gutsy, like
look how strong she is,
character without showing you any of like the qualities that I believe made Eowyn great.
Because I feel like that's also the issue with some of the side characters. Like I love the Shield Maiden girl. I don't remember her name, but she was also an amazing character. Yes. But it's like the only backstory I got from her was that her shield was broken like during another battle, and the king was like, she was like, I want a new shield. He's like, nah, your shield's perfect. It's just broken in. She's like, okay, fuck it.
Like, use it. For the side characters, I don't feel as bad, right? I like when I see a story, I never feel as horribly bad if some of the side characters aren't as fleshed out. If they're pretty strong characters in and of themselves, and I feel like she is.
Oh yeah, I think she's fine. There's some stuff I would like to know more about, like that time.
Or or like the Porter kid is great. The Squire. He's fun.
I feel so bad for him.
He's pretty good though. Yeah. He's pretty good.
But
imagine you climb all the way up there to bring up the armor. It's an eagle that flies. Why does he carry it up? It could go down to the floor. Just put it a little farther out that way.
But like some of those side characters are fine. Even like I feel for like the general on the opposite side.
Oh yeah.
I really like that guy.
Yeah. If the general was the bad guy, I would like the movie probably 1,000 times better. Because he was smart, strong. He was charismatic.
Yep.
He was.
He was the villain that we needed.
If they would have focused on him for the whole movie, right, and then the fucking wolf kills him, right, and I would be like, oh, fuck this guy, and then whatever happens to him at the end, I'm like, oh yeah.
Deserved.
But that's
you just follow a guy who's smart, telling the kid what to do at every point of the way. Then he just kills him at the end for no fucking reason. It's like, okay, whatever, fuck it,
fuck it. And that's almost a travesty to me that in this case where your main characters are your main characters, they feel so lifeless. In compared to everybody else around them.
I agree with that. The thing I liked about the film was I liked all the references. I think my favorite was the cameo. The
Saruman cameo.
We showed up, you're like, I know what he's talking about. I know this.
Dude, I looked at the cast and I was like, why is he here? Why is he dead?
Well, no, he wouldn't. Well, the actor, yes. But the character obviously is not. Well, it was weird to me when they were like, oh, we're in Isengard. I'm like, I know Saruman was in Isengard. I don't remember when he got to Isengard, but
no clue when.
Like I don't remember that part. It's been forever since I read those appendices, but yeah.
The actors for Merry and Pippin were there.
Yes,
forgot their names.
Dominic Monaghan and Billy Boyd.
I was like, those all sound familiar.
I did because I looked at the cast list too, and I was like, where the hell are they at? And then when they popped up, like,
obviously,
that's cool.
The king. Is the king's voice actor, right? Is the same as
the Hera is Eowyn's voice actor.
Is it?
Yeah.
See what I mean, though? It's like, oh my.
So what this film either needed just more characters, like what we should have brought in, made it 10 times better. Like Tom Bombadil would have just killed it.
Dude, I don't care. I want to see some property. It doesn't matter.
Bombadil.
Yeah,
I love him so much.
I like. It's just I understand that he's basically like God.
Yeah.
But he's a funny character. He's great.
He's my favorite.
Needed more eagles.
The Eagles came in again. Our boys.
Do sex eagle.
Caca.
I have a shit take. Well, like I feel like
you thought this was better than all the Lord of the Rings combined.
Okay, ever since Lord of the Rings 2, the Helm's Deep scene, right? It's iconic. It's great. But I feel like everything ever since then, all their like Lord of the Rings property shows, whatever. They're trying to replicate that.
Yeah.
And like that happened in the Ring of Powers.
Yeah.
They try to replicate the same magic of that scene.
Well, it's the magic of the whole film series, right? It's like Lord
But
of the
like that
Rings,
specific
yeah.
scene, I'm like, I've seen this like 3 times already.
Because Return of the King does the same thing when they show up. Right?
Yeah.
The issue is like it's weird to say. I think it's just lazy writing. It's just easy. You can be like, oh, let's just slap these guys in. Look, we got the getaway.
Yeah.
We got this
How
part.
many here too? They're like, all that about the lose.
We're hitting the checklist.
Yeah.
Right? Of
And I'm just like, yeah, it was cool, but now it's just getting annoying.
Yeah.
Because do something else.
Because I feel like even as mid as I think the Hobbit movies are, right? I do feel like they do their own thing. For the third film, I don't know. Maybe that one gets a little. But the first,
Dude,
the first two.
Dude, the third film when the Eagles come in to kill Smaug.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
But I still believe the beginning of that third film should have been at the end of the second.
Yes, it should have been a 2 movie.
And they should have cut down the second one in some scenes. Yes. But
they're like,
but
well,
I do. But
see
even
that.
then, and maybe that's just the fact that it is based on a property that's already written and fleshed out by someone who thought of original thoughts at that time. Well, original thoughts at that time, because he borrowed from folklore as well.
What?
But I mean, I feel like everything else after it just wants to be a cheap imitation. When you have so much stuff to pull from, even if you don't have the rights to like directly adapt that thing, it's not like you can't take inspiration from it, right?
Yeah.
So why then go back and instead of taking inspiration from those things that would make it feel unique, you just rehash the same story tropes, the same scenes, same beats that you just do over and over again.
So what I thought the ending of this movie was gonna be was I thought the fucking, you know how she calls for the eagle.
Yeah.
I thought the eagle was just gonna eat the main villain.
Oh, I thought the eagle picked him up and just took
I
out.
thought the same thing.
Like, it's over.
It's over.
Like, dude, if I saw that, like you saw your general get, or I guess he would be king or commander, whatever he is, above the general.
Yes.
If I saw my guy get taken by a bird and just, whew, I'd be like, yeah, it's going, guys. I'm going that way.
Yeah.
But that's what I thought the ending was going to be. I'm like, the eagle's just going to kill the guy.
Deuces eagle.
Deuces eagle.
What would you rate the film? I'll give my
6.
6. Okay. I was gonna give it a 5 because there's a lot I don't like about it, but the fight scenes
Are good.
Some of the
That's probably the only
some of the
reason I
main
would give it
characters I
6.
do like.
I like the art's really good. The music's really good.
Well, yeah.
That's what I said. I can.
Fights are pretty good.
Yeah.
Characters are pretty good except for the bad guy.
Yeah, the voice acting is pretty good.
Yeah, they seem
Most of
like
it, yeah.
they seem like very famous actors.
I feel like technically, like on the technical aspect of the movie, all of that is good.
Yeah.
All of the technical aspects of this movie are good.
Whoever wrote this, you suck at your job, bro. You fucking suck, dude.
Oh, it's written by Tolkien himself.
and that's where it lost. And that's the thing with the film, right? Like technical aspects of a film are great and I think are what make a film a film.
Yeah.
But it's useless if the story you're trying to tell is meh.
That's why I want to put it out a 5 because I said I think that all the technical is so good.
Yeah.
All the writing's so bad. I'm just gonna slap it right at a 5.
Maybe it was the producer. The producer fucked it up.
Yeah,
maybe they had a better movie.
And maybe there is a question of just like, oh, we have to inject because they do this all the time, right? Where you have to inject so much of this original property because that's what's going to get people in the seats. Obviously, it didn't work.
Yeah.
So
the old Disney problem: put all the characters in, make sure you can put them back when you're done using them.
Because even like the orc cameo, although fun,
Yeah.
is not necessary to the story.
No, dude,
Right.
But seeing some guy.
I don't know that fight scene of the king with that.
But that's the thing, right?
Goblin,
as good as that scene is, right?
You ain't need it.
No. Right? As fun as it looks, do you need that? Obviously, the thing with Isengard Saruman, if that's where it takes place, that's where it takes place, and that's fine, right?
Well,
it's in the timeline that works. And even some of the other ones, like just showing Dunharrow, is only there for nostalgia.
Yeah.
Oh my god! At the end, where are we going? We're gonna go meet with Gandalf.
I do love that. Anytime Gandalf's involved, I'm like, yes, great ending.
What's funny to me though, like when they say that, I don't think Gandalf was looking for the ring.
Well, it wasn't for the main ring. I think he was just talking about the rings. All the rings combined.
Because, but he would have known where they were. He owned one.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't mean you know where all of them are.
But at least he knows all the ones by the obviously the ring rates all have their rings. He knows who they are.
Yeah.
All the dwarves have their rings. They all were mostly killed by this moment. He knows who they are.
That's true.
I think maybe he just wanted to know why he was looking for rings. Or more.
No,
maybe why the orcs were looking for rings.
That was that might be it. Because that's what they said, was like talking about the orcs that were
even when Bilbo had the ring, Gandalf didn't think twice about it.
Yeah,
he's just like, oh, fancy fun ring you got there, right? Yeah. Weird. And it's not until you start getting into the timeline of Lord of the Rings proper that he's like, wait a minute.
Yeah. That doesn't seem right.
Although book-wise, that does take like a 50-year time period, right?
Yeah.
But even then, that's still 50 years after the 200 years where this takes place.
But I say it's like wizards and elves. They're on like a different timeline than everybody else. 50 years is like dropping the bucket. They're like, that was like last week.
That's how long it took me to go through the archives in Minas Tirith.
50 years straight of reading.
But I feel like that is just a jab to be like, oh, she's gonna go do this thing and whatever's right.
I said it didn't add anything. It's just like, ooh.
Just full of. I think it was just like filling, notes, check marks.
Yeah.
Well, you know what else? It's like the why the whole we're gonna call this Helm's Deep thing. You know what it reminds me of, and I hate this so much. It's like what a lot of your modern Disney prequel stuff do all the time now, where for some reason they believe you want to know why everything, like the meaning of everything for these other ones, when you really don't. Like
never thought about it. Sounds deep.
Where Han Solo's name comes from in Solo is still irks me, writing wise.
Why was it? What was it?
No, it's gonna keep going. Let's talk about not that.
But like I hate how they do that. It's fine. It's like that's why he got the name. That's why I got the name. But
I thought it was fine in the film. It didn't add or change anything to me. It was just like, haha, we said the name, and then moved on.
Roll credits.
Basically, that's what I felt like. It was like, who cares? Okay, what's your number, Eddie? You still haven't given a number.
I said 6.
Did you get a 6?
Yeah,
okay.
I said 6.
That's fire.
Ring of Power was better than this movie.
Ooh.
Season 2 specifically was better than this movie.
Oh, okay.
Still,
ooh. But then again, I feel like Galadriel in Rings of Power has similar problems, and even then I like Hera a lot more than I like her character. But yeah,
she gets better in season 2.
Okay.
No, he likes it because it's animated.
All right.
I mean, it's not like Galadriel's actress. Oh, never mind. But
anyway, thank you for watching.
Did you like this movie? Did you even watch this movie? What'd you think?
Did you even know it existed?
Did you even know it existed?
Like
were you excited for anime Lord of the Rings and then were greatly disappointed? Let us know.
Same.
Yep.
Down below. Are we horribly wrong? Is our take horrible? Also, let us know.
If I said it was a 10 out of 10, it would be a horrible take. So.
That would be a very bad take. Until next time. Peace.